Okay, so we're gonna be going through this whole like Dokibird drama together because I am so confused about this situation. I had no idea that this was happening.
But the channel's Cat in Chat.
Cat in Chat.
She goes by Cat Liente. Something like that. I don't know.
We'll
What I
see.
do know is that she recently made
We'll
a
see the
video
drama.
that's almost 2 hours long going after Dokibird. And the results of this video are really not going well for Cat Liente. It seemed like at first the comments were filled with people who seemed to dislike Dokibird and praising the video. Many people alleging that these are in fact Niji sisters, and that very well may be the case. Regardless, at this point in time, a lot of people have looked further into this video. It's gotten outside the circle of these so-called Niji sisters.
I like Dokibird.
And are
Dokibird's
picking the video
fun.
apart for
She's funny.
a lot of misrepresentations and things like that, including Dokibird herself, who has refuted this video with a Google Doc.
I'm gonna turn up the volume because you
ultimately the point
complain that it's
this
too
stuff
low.
is not going well for Cat Liente.
But this guy just talks so.
Chat. So here's the plan. We're gonna play parts of Cat's.
The video is just low,
long
guys.
video,
I don't.
Parts where she's essentially making her strongest points from what I saw. Then we'll take a look at what Dokibird has to say in response.
I've never had my YouTube video like this where it's almost max volume.
Or disagree with me, but the vibe that I'm getting from this video and from Kat is that she's really trying to like drag this whole thing out, make this video as long as possible for the sake of getting as much ad revenue as possible off Doki's name.
It's getting hot in my room, so I'm just gonna turn on the fan.
None of you guys have actually heard about it before because it has not been posted anywhere. This is about a big VTuber by the name of Dokibird and a charity stream that Doki had hosted over a year ago.
It's such a weird way to start the video. Like, oh, this tea is so piping hot. It's just got like a weird Mean Girls petty gossip drama vibe to it. So
I will change the location of my model. This is the
sort of video that Niji sisters would love.
It's actually crazy how bad this all falls apart. Manager's like, why does it cost so much? Why couldn't you donate it? Right? How is this the artist's fault? How is this the artist's responsibility that your team screwed up? We're a totally different legal entity from the old company. The old company had no official agreements with you, and the new company is looking into this and also have no agreements with you, let alone take over things of the old company. To this day, the artist has not been compensated.
Dude, I'm trying. I'm putting. I'm putting. Whatchamacallit? Ah, you don't care.
Received a PC.
I said. I was gonna say. I'm putting like little bits of cinnamon on my coffee, like
so
before I brew
like
it.
a false premise. The action of making a document
smells good.
in of
smells like cinnamon.
Doesn't mean that you're covering something correctly. She's trying to frame it in the beginning, at least in my opinion, to try and make it seem like, oh, this is so legit.
Dude, I don't know where to put my model.
Now, if you want to argue that making the document can help you present what you're saying more easily and better, okay. But again, the document in itself does not mean that you're covering this correctly, especially when, as many people are alleging now, this seems like information was fed to her by people who just don't like Dokibird to begin with, may even be supporters of Niji Sanji and some of the people that were trying to go after her when she was Selen and all that stuff and have been going after her since then.
Is this real? Unfortunately, it is.
Unfortunately, it is. Yeah, from the person who seems so eager to spill this tea. Oh, this tea's piping hot. Oh, it's so unfortunate that I have to cover this and make this document and that I'm covering this correctly. Okay, dude.
So, the context is Dokibird hosted an auction that ended March 3rd, 2024 for a custom-built PC designed by the artist, with the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation being the charity of choice for the Tiltify. If you guys don't know Tiltify, it is a charity platform in which auctioneers can go and sign up on the platform, host charity auctions on there, and then it will pay directly out to the charity of choice. In this case, the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation.
Okay, so over an hour into this thing, she begins to summarize her
an
points.
hour?
We'll get to that in a second. You can see there's these sections. The tea is piping hot, the intro that we played a portion of, then the management mayhem, the management shuffle.
Bro.
You should have donated it, quote unquote. The guilt trip begins, the budget gets weirder, and then from about 57 minutes all the way to about an hour and 50, just say like about an hour, she has this section, Doki responds and deflects. It's going over like a bunch of Discord messages, allegedly from Dokibird to other people, including managers, etc., etc. So yeah, now we'll watch a portion of this where, as I mentioned, she kind of summarizes what she's trying to get at here.
For a good cause, it's for charity. Again, donating money to charity doesn't keep the lights on in the artist's house. Donating money to charity does not keep food on the artist's table. You can't guilt trip the artist to try to make the artist donate something to charity when this entire situation was built upon the idea the artist was going to be compensated fairly for their service of the PC build. Like, it just reads to me like you don't want to pay.
So you got to be crazy or disingenuous or both to think that Dokibird would not want to compensate an artist fairly. What this comes off to me, and this is only going to be further amplified with what we're going to watch next as Kat continues rather, is that someone was trying to take advantage of Dokibird, was trying to weasel Dokibird out of like more money than she really should have fairly paid. And of course, Dokibird was hesitant to pay that money. Why would she want to be taken for a ride like that? It's completely understandable that she wouldn't want to be. And to my understanding, by the way, what Kat is referring to as an artist is specifically this person who seems to have been hired to work on building a PC. And this PC build, according to Dokibird's statement, was ranging from at first like $6,000 USD, then $8,000, then $12,000, then like $14,000.
This is an expensive PC.
Saying that there was no consistent rationale, which goes back to what I said.
I would love to win it.
Someone was really trying to take advantage of Dokibird here, perhaps even multiple people.
Like I said, what happened, right? What happened is there is a big hot steaming pile of crap because people dropped the ball. Who dropped the ball doesn't matter. Now there's a big stinking pile of poop that somebody needs to clean up, and the responsibility to clean it is Doki, and Doki doesn't want to do it.
Okay, first of all, disgusting analogy. Second of all, as mentioned, this really seems like people were trying to take advantage of Doki, but Kat's here trying to frame it as Doki's responsibility, which would therefore mean it's Doki's responsibility to let people take advantage of her. That's ridiculous. That's such a bad point.
I get morally it can feel weird to pay more than what the charity got. That is an inevitable situation that could happen based on how this charity was set.
The charity receiving less than what the item is going to be is regrettable, and I share your feelings. If the price hadn't been valued the way that it was, we could have perhaps avoided the outcome. It makes me sad that that's not the case, because it would have been for a good cause that we both really believe in. I want you to know that I'm not upping the cost just for the sake of it. I have to work from a standard rate to be able to make ends meet, and I'm hopeful you can understand. If it would help, I can share the past invoice from the build that this PC is based from. It's about 2 years old, and I was paid both in hardware to make the build. The hardware itself amounted to 3.5k GBP, and the total came around 10. So the hardware, what? It's about 2 years old, and I was paid both in hardware plus to make the build. You're paid double to build a computer? Dude, what am I missing here? Am I stupid? Of course, I would do want to figure this out, and it would make me... This person got paid 7.1k in Great British pounds to build a 3.5k computer? Dude, just message Linus. He'd do it for free.
Up. Is it Doki's fault it ended up like this? Partially. She should have known because she should have double-checked the charity before it went live. But overall, manager 1 screwed up. Regardless, though, now we have
I might be missing something, but it looks like this person is saying that they're getting paid $7 grand to build a computer,
and an artist,
which is baffling to me. Baffling.
Trying to sort this out, and nothing has happened, and the artist is wasting all of your time, and still no talks of payment because it's all I hear is how can I not pay the artist? That's what it sounds like right now.
So Dokibird's response covers all this stuff very well, which we'll take a look at very soon here.
I hope I'm not correct.
Though,
I hope I'm wrong.
The PC build was apparently
into thinking that this person gets paid $7 grand
120 hours of labor
to build a computer,
and then saying that they had evidence, a time-lapse video specifically of the build to prove this amount of labor went into it. When Dokibird and her team asked to see the evidence, they aren't given the evidence. The evidence is not provided. So let's just kind of condense this really quick.
You don't need
my
that.
Understanding of what's happening so far. Doki holds an auction for various like Doki-themed merchandise, and all the money from the auction will be donated to charity. One of those items is a custom Doki-themed PC build, and that's the core of the issue here is the PC build, of course.
Yeah.
And so the auction completes. The PC build isn't done yet, but the auction completes, and that money.
I want to see the
is supposed
PC
to go to
build
charity, and it sounds like
to see if it's
artist
worth
initially
$7
agreed, like, this
grand
price is
more to build
sufficient
it.
for the PC build and all that.
If you're just painting the case, I don't know. I don't know about that. But if you're redoing the GPU, like a custom cooler that has Dokibird colors, all the fans and shit, also Dokibird. The wires are custom themed. Everything, dude. It must include a figure inside.
Being completed for the auction winner to get the PC build company or
even then, $7 grand though.
Put it.
What?
Building the PC, people building the PC.
Even then,
keep raising the price. Like, hey, Doki, it's actually not 6,000. It's actually 8,000. Wait, it's not actually 8,000. It's 12,000. No. It's actually 14,000. And Doki asked for evidence, which they said they had, and then they
Yeah.
refuse to provide the evidence.
The
Just
artist
send
then
the
sends
invoice.
an updated invoice where 3,800 British pounds is discounted off the cost, making the total build price 8,622. So you can see that right here. And then the artist says, that amount of my services already rendered, that's gone to charity. And then Doki says, like I said earlier, this is almost 5,000 more than what the charity ended with, which is what made me uncomfortable, as I really believe the charity amount should be closer. I was open if it was $1,000 more, but this is what makes me uncomfortable. Okay. Also, privilege take. Maybe I am also coming off privilege. If your die-hard hill you're dying on is that the charity received less money than the product, then you pay for both to fix the situation. Like, in the best case scenario, this is the way to right all the wrongs that happened. Is it your fault it happened?
Is it really Doki's fault if the artist kept upping the price? Oh man, I might be missing some crucial details here. I mean, I guess, it's her fault for, wanting to work with this person. Darn, dude.
Happened? Mostly no. But now it's happened. We have a bunch of people being strung along this long. If this is the hill you're dying on, if the PC build is $8,600 and the buyer donated $6,600, again, wrong currencies, right? But like roughly estimating, you donate $4,000 to charity to make up the difference that the charity didn't get, and you pay for the PC. That is the best scenario. I don't know how much you have to say it, like how many times you need to write it out. It's not going to change it. Doki and Manager 3 over and over again says, oh, this is like way more than what the charity ended with. Doesn't matter. It happened. It's now happened. The charity is over. The charity received 6.6.
No, I don't agree. Because you don't really know, right? Like, they could just say all these things, like, but it just seems like they're trying to scam her. And you don't want to openly get scammed.
6,000 USD,
This just might
and
be
the
me,
PC
though.
build is
I don't
going to
know.
cost at least 10,000 USD. Those are two facts. So now how are we going to fix it?
Well, actually, it's funny you ask, because apparently this thing was already resolved, and you're the one bringing it up again, trying to make Doki look as bad as you possibly can, and make like a 2-hour-long video trying to get a bunch of ad revenue off Doki's name. So that's the caliente part. Let's take a look at Doki's response to that video. She says, full statement on the charity auction and recent allegations. To everyone following the situation regarding the charity auction, I want to address the claims that have been circulating, particularly in a recent video. This has been an incredibly difficult experience, but I believe the full story deserves to be heard. First and foremost, I accept that the handling of this auction item was far from ideal. I want to sincerely apologize to those impacted, especially the winner, for the delays and the confusion. And I tremendously appreciate the patience and support the winner has shown me. I take responsibility for how things unfolded, but I also need to be transparent about the challenges that were taking place behind the scenes, many of which have not been shared publicly until now. I feel that it's time I share this with everyone, as I've come to terms with what has occurred in summer. At the time this auction was concluding, I was in the middle of a serious and distressing transition. My previous management team had taken full control of my brand, and I was actively working with lawyers and police to reclaim ownership of Dokibird. During this time,
You're kidding.
I was also forced to
No
move out of
way.
my home under police supervision.
What?
A situation so severe it required formal reports and the help of personal friends and staff. It was during this incredibly turbulent time that the charity item fell into the hands of my team while I was trying to survive and restart my life from the ground up. I won't go into too much detail, but the screenshot is a snapshot of how bad it was. Doki saying, she just left. I only have a small window of time to leave the apartment before she comes back. Are the police coming? Because I won't be home when they do. Someone says, exit the apartment, they're almost there. Doki says, I'm packing up right now to leave. Someone says, grab a charger, officer's calling you, and please let me know if everything is okay. So to be fair, my team and I were under a lot of pressure. We still came out of this and had to immediately start to pick up the pieces of the business. And during this time, there was no attempt from the other side to follow up or reach out after the initial silence. My staff wasn't sure how to proceed, and I truthfully was overwhelmed and unable to manage the situation while trying to reestablish basic stability in my personal and professional life. We got another message here. Redacted saying, hey Doki, there's a metric ton of work that's still unfinished and unaddressed, and as much as I'd like to give the room to let you settle in the move, stuff needs to get done. We can't keep pushing things back. It's already unprofessional that things have been delayed this long. The charity auction still has multiple items that need addressing, the most important being the custom PC, which has still made no progress, and I've received another inquiry as to where the plan for it is. Bottom line is there needs to be a new builder arranged, or at least a budget of 6.6k USD allocated to either build the thing or reimburse the bidder in full.
Okay.
Document continues. Eventually, I stepped back in personally to handle the PC build when it became clear it was dragging on too long. I contacted the builder myself and was informed of a prior medical emergency. Still, no follow-up ever came from them afterward, despite months passing, and I had to initiate contact again. As for the auction process itself, the starting bid was always intended to reflect the cost of the item. This was standard across all auction pieces, and many artists we worked with can confirm this. I was confused when the PC build kept increasing in quoted price from 6K to 8K to 12K, then 14K, with no consistent rationale.
I think you should have had the item before.
But the shifting figures and eventual threat of daily penalties for missing an already arbitrary deadline left me overwhelmed and unsure if I could continue the partnership. Yeah,
maybe that would have been the best course of action to avoid all this.
Extremely trying to take advantage of you.
But then again, you didn't know if anyone was going to bid on it, right?
Daily penalties too. The builder provided irrational hours in the time log, asking for obscene amounts and services we never agreed on. Oh, it just gets worse. What the frick? Eventually, I was told I'd owe a 4K cancellation fee, yet I had not agreed to any finalized scope or cost. There was no contract signed between me, Dokibird, and them directly. Here's one of the quotes they sent us. Okay, so let me actually remove myself so we can see the hardware specs there, then the cost that they're charging for all that, the notes breaking down the specific.
Okay. And PSU cables, flat materials fee, I don't know what that is. And total labor, 6,351. Hourly rate is 32, 40 hours. How does it take that long though? No? Am I stupid? How does it take that long? Oh man, I think I'm stupid.
Like parts that those are. Then the total amount of parts, they're estimating about $3,900, and then total labor $6,300. But there's also this pre-project labor estimate.
I don't know. I have no knowledge of this, so maybe that's like section. That's like normal.
Which is another $4,700. So you got like $11,000 worth of labor that they're trying to charge here, which is insane. Okay, so continuing. And the timesheet they claim to have accumulated already for 120 hours, bro, no way. Which my staff and I found untruthful. Yeah, especially when I was not shown any proof of labor. We requested if there was a way to provide us proof, which was then also ignored. So then we got this calculator simplified.
You never want to be paid hourly for this. You want it to be a flat rate.
I asked for one thing multiple times, a time-lapse video of the PC build that was drafted, which the builder themselves had originally said existed. They told us it existed, and I asked if I could see it, but I was then ignored. I even stated in writing that I would pay the full amount, no questions asked. Hey guys, okay, it sounds kind of crazy, but just show me that video you guys say that you have and I'll pay it. It's fine. Just show me the video. Never sends the video. Despite multiple requests by me and my staff via email, it was never delivered. At this point, the builder's behavior was showing bad faith to me, the buyer. Doki, DM. We've requested these items multiple times in various emails and DMs, and you have stated that you would provide them, but we still have yet to receive the items. We said that we are willing to provide compensation if these items were provided, so we do not understand why this has been ignored multiple times. Yeah, I wonder why. Almost like they're lying about things. Then we got this email from Doki's team to the PC build people, presumably. They say, we have never agreed or communicated on any pricing of anything for you to make a quote for us, and that this would be a chargeable service. No other company does this, and you did not make it clear to us you are charging us for this as a service in any way, shape, or form when we reached out to you in 2025. You did not inform us that every time we interact, it would be charged.
What?
You claimed to have worked in the past before 2025 with Dokibird Production Incorporated on things regarding a mock-up created about a year ago, and that you wish to get paid for those services provided, and that item isn't on your timesheet and wasn't charged. This raises even more questions on our end because you stated that mock-up was the work that was being charged for until you added the other items later.
Oh man, this is scary. No, I don't want to be in this position ever.
That this would cost money or further discussed, signed, or approved on. You've also disappeared for 6 months without notifying us in the beginning until 2 different managements gave up talks with you. Meanwhile, they're like still charging for those 6 months that they were MIA. I say that in like slight jest, but that's kind of like what it looks like. What the frick, dude? It's like making up stuff to like charge them for. We also, yeah, whether they go on vacation and try and get Doki to pay for that. Like, oh yeah, this was totally our labor. Right. We also still have yet to receive the time-lapse video, which we requested multiple times. And you have stated you would provide it to us. If you do not have the time-lapse video, then please tell us the truth that you do not have the video. Then came 2 incredibly personal accusations that crossed the line for me, that I was quote-unquote pocketing charity money, and that I did this for a tax write-off. These were not only false, but deeply hurtful. All the money from the bids went directly to the charity through Tiltify. I paid artists out of pocket,
if
included
she could sue, right, for
in some cases even covered or increased their rates myself. To be accused of using this for personal
she could definitely sue if it wasn't,
someone who has
any allegations talks.
Due to how emotionally charged the situation became, I chose to step away and let my team manage it more professionally. I was on a rare, long-awaited.
I think I know the girl that covered. I don't know her personally, but I think I've seen like some of her videos.
This was well documented on stream and on social media. Anyone who knows me knows I rarely take time off. This was a trip to Japan for my first LAN Apex event, which had been planned for months. Look at me sound like a fool calling it LAN. I know LAN, local area network. Okay, moving on. Eventually, I worked with a new PC builder using my height case. I upgraded all the parts at my own expense and tried to spend nearly $10K to deliver what was promised. Unfortunately, Amazon canceled my parts order shortly before the winner's travel date, meaning we could no longer deliver the PC in time. At that point, the winner and I mutually agreed that I would send them $7.5K to build their own non-themed PC. We considered the matter resolved. Well, it sucks that it did go down like that and they didn't get their Doki-themed PC, but hey, $7,500 to build their own non-themed PC. I mean, they're gonna have like such a freaking high-end build. Like that's gonna be a crazy good PC. Oh my gosh, dude. And we can see this part here. 2 days later, the video was posted, that being the Caliente one, I believe, after the payment had already been made and the issue had been settled. The video description and pinned comment were edited after the fact to say I had paid the auction winner, but it falsely implied I only did so of public pressure. Are you kidding me? That's so scummy. What is Caliente thinking, dude? We'll take a look at that pinned comment. It could be edited again at this point in time, but we'll take a look at it in a second, or after this document. Then we got the screenshot of the $7,500 being
Dude, I
sent
should make
via
like a
PayPal.
Twitter. No, I'm not gonna do that. I don't know.
And the document says, I didn't screenshot anything
I
from
feel
our
like Twitter is
conversations
like
in the
kind of
Discord group
poison.
because I had hoped to resolve this privately without dragging it into the public eye. But in hindsight, that was naive. I've always tried to avoid public conflict, but now I'm being forced to defend myself.
I keep
from a
making
one-sided
Twitters,
narrative. The pain
and I
comes
feel like I
deeper
keep
when see
forgetting
people
them.
claiming
I keep forgetting
didn't
how to
want
log
pay
in.
because it was the most expensive item. That's not true. I've paid for other auction items valued even higher, and this was never about avoiding payment. I was about trying to navigate an increasingly confusing, emotionally fraught, and mismanaged situation in the middle of one of the hardest years of my life. For context, I've always tried to treat the artists I work with fairly. Sometimes I pay late because I'm overwhelmed or unwell, and as my community knows, I've faced numerous health and personal challenges lately, but I always pay. I've covered late fees, offered bonuses, and donated to artists in need. To now be accused of being manipulative or exploitative after everything I've given, financially and emotionally, is devastating. I'm not perfect, I get emotional, I talk from the heart, not always from a business-only place, and yes, I should have kept some personal matters out of these conversations, that's on me, but I'm only one person trying to keep everything afloat. To be called a manipulator or gaslighter when all I've done is try to fix things, learn, and grow is deeply unfair. This entire experience has broken my heart. This statement was not something I ever wanted to write, but after being repeatedly asked to say something, quote unquote, and after having personal pain used for public drama, I felt exploited, and I felt I had no choice. I hope this is the only time I'll have to speak on this. Moving forward, I will no longer be handling direct negotiations for my brand. I've learned that my emotional communication style makes me vulnerable to being misunderstood or misrepresented. I don't want that to affect others.
I'm sorry.
I hope people will
That
take a moment
sucks.
to hear the full context, not just the most viral part of the story. Thank you to those who've shown patience, understanding, and support. Apologies for my break this week because I'm tired. All I want to do is spend time with my closest and only family right now, as my dog just got home after surgery and rehabilitation. I'm still learning, I'm still healing, and I'm still trying to do better every day. Yeah, all considered, I think with the information that I've seen, Doki handled this pretty dang well. There's a lot going on, and like that stuff from the PC build people definitely didn't add up in my opinion. And now we'll take a look at Caliente's pinned comment. Oh, by the way, I should mention that the majority of people are definitely supporting Doki here from what it looks like, saying things like, these two screenshots are all you need to understand the core of what happened. PC builder tried to scam money out of Doki, refused to provide proof of the work that they claimed existed. Doki reimbursed the winner of that auction bidding, and the scammer failed to get their money. That takes us to, as mentioned, Kat's video once again, but this time to the pinned comment where Kat has all this to say.
The buyer has been refunded the original amount plus an extra 1K. However, the artist involved has not been compensated at all. To clarify, since people are wondering why everyone from this document is redacted except Doki, I chose to redact names if I think significant harm could come their way, either due to one party having a large and opinionated fan base, one party having a substantially larger audience that could be mobilized for harm, and other reasons I deemed fit. Doki isn't redacted because this entire situation involved her auction, and redacting her name will not give enough context for people to understand the situation. Also, redacting the name of the person who needs to be accountable makes no sense. I know most people who have this sentiment are just Dokibird fans confused whether Oshi is blank, but felt adding this clarification would help confused party as to why many names are redacted. Update 2. Doki has put out a statement on her site. Feel free to read it, your own conclusion. About the statement specifically, the video description and pinned comment were edited, and had paid the auction winner, but it falsely implied I only did so because of public pressure. Please read it. It is not.
I guess I will remove myself again. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Update. The buyer has been refunded.
I'm not
the original
removing
amount
myself.
Plus an extra,
You're forced
1K.
You're forced
However,
to
the
watch
artist
me.
involved has not been compensated at all. Sad face. Edit to clarify, since people are wondering why everyone from this document is redacted except Doki. I chose to redact names if I think what seems.
I read this
Doki
already.
isn't redacted because the entire situation involved confused parties as to why so many names are redacted. Update 2, 5/14/25 at 3 MP. about this statement specifically. The quote, the video description and pinned comment were edited after the fact to say I had paid the auction winner, but it falsely implied I only did so because of public pressure. That's simply not true. Cat saying, please read the words written in both the video description and pinned comment and see where it says, quote, Doki paid because of public pressure, unquote. It does not, because that's not what was written. It was added.
It's implied.
After the video, because the video.
It doesn't, she said it right here. It's falsely implied. It doesn't directly say, oh, they said this about me. It's implied.
Was cut from a Twitch stream over a week ago and scheduled to go live at 10 a.m. And information about the refund was presented after the video was live. The VOD can be viewed here. Ultimately, in the rest of the comments, she is getting called out, although, as I also mentioned in the beginning of this video, at first the comments were really upset at Doki, which again, people allege were a lot of Niji sisters trying to get back at her over all the Nichi Sanji stuff that went down. But we can see now people are leaving more recent comments, and those are now taking over the top comments as well. Such as, I'd like to remind everyone that this is the same person who clickbaited Alicia's cancer. Here's additional context on that. Alicia had said, bro, what the frig is this title? Clickbaiting my cancer is insane. Reacting to my update video is totally fine, but the title ethics doesn't exist when there is ad revenue to be made, I guess. Showing this video from Caliente. Oh, okay, so her name was Caliente, and then she changed the cat in chat, I guess. VTuber with cancer got hacked. What's wrong with you? Why would you make that the title? While we're over on Twitter, also saw this. C-Dot said, for those who don't know, the person who made the video, Cat, is the same person who started harassing a group of VTubers, then started gloating about how they, quote, won't even put a dent in me, unquote, when she got pushed back for spreading misinfo. Showing this video from Rev titled, Her Lies Harmed VTubers, and she's gloating about it. I'm like speechless. Dude, what's wrong with this person? Imagine instigating something and like harassing a group of people, like you're in the wrong. And then when you get backlash, you're like, oh, they won't even put a dent in me. It's like literally not even trying to hide being like a villain person, being like a bad person. Now, to be fair, I haven't seen that video. I'm like out of the loop on context, but like that's what went down. Like, so freaking mask off. I gotta see this.
Mask
We're gonna
off
play like
moment,
1 minute of Rev's video here from 9 months ago.
I'm gonna be
Where am I gonna be?
fully honest, and this is gonna be.
I'm in the right now.
They're not big enough to put a dent in me.
What? Dude, this chick is crazy.
Be honest, okay?
Like not in a good way, like in a very much like bad way. Okay, we'll read a few more top comments on our YouTube video, seeing how this is all backfiring on her.
I'm on the left
Lol,
again.
You're deleting comments after being called out for outright lying and not even trying to get the full story from both sides. I don't care if they're indie, freelance, or whatever. If they cannot provide proof of work, they're not getting a dime out of me. Also, 280 hours to build a PC. Are you serious? Wearing a sign over your head saying scammer would be less obvious. Maybe I missed something. I thought it was 80 plus 120 for, I guess, 200 hours total. Regardless, 200 or 280, like just completely ridiculous stuff here in my opinion. But all that is to say, yeah, Doki's getting a lot of support all over the internet for this, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Reddit, etc., etc. And Kat's video, while it initially was going well for her and Niji sisters seemed to be flocking to it and getting mad at Dokibird and trying to like say that she's terrible and all that, the internet at large, aware of the situation, as mentioned, is supporting her. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. As always, thank you so much for.
I think I don't know, because we're gonna watch the sequel.
Welcome back, guys. We've got an update
Let's
on
go.
the situation with YouTuber Catliente, aka Cat in Chat, who has recently come under fire for terrible VTuber related coverage. And so now she issued this whole response.
Oh
to
man,
VTuber
that's a lot of
Alicia,
words, chat.
Who
Oh, read it together.
Cat has recently come under fire for terrible VTuber related coverage.
Addressing the cancer clickbait incident with Alicia, there was a situation where Alicia was hacked and lost access to their YouTube channel, and I made a video about it titled something like VTuber with cancer was hacked. The VTuber had publicly expressed on their Twitter that they did not want people to talk about their hacking situation, and I wanted to respect that and was going to delete the video. At this point, the video was not live, it was sitting as private on my channel. I should have deleted the video immediately to avoid miscommunication with my editor, and that's my fault. However, while I was asleep, my editor posted the video without me knowing. He does not have permission to post videos to my channel, and he never had posted a video prior to this, so I did not expect that he would do that. He then saw the backlash about the video and changed the title to something about remission. My editor's first language isn't English, so he didn't realize that the words cancer and remission aren't interchangeable and mean two completely different things.
Now she issued.
He's human and makes mistakes like the rest of us. Please do not send hate to him if you know who he is. Regardless, the blame lies with me, as I should have immediately deleted the video off my channel to avoid the possible misinterpretation that the video was good to go live. This entire time I was asleep, and I woke up confused to what was happening. I misremembered. I thought I realized something happened at 4 p.m. PT when I woke up. I realized I actually went live, and my editor told me after my stream something happened, making it around 10 p.m. PT. The moment I realized something was wrong, I deleted the video, privately apologized to the VTuber, and compensated the VTuber for potential damages that could have occurred for the 12 hours the video was up. You can see the timestamp in the attached photos of the post about the video around my messages there around 11 p.m. PT.
Response.
I didn't want to talk about this publicly because I deemed the situation resolved, and also didn't want to continue mentioning that VTuber, as they have already expressed multiple times that they didn't want people to talk about their health situation. But I felt it needed to be brought up, as there's a narrative going on that I exploited their health for views when I was asleep the entire time it was happening.
I did nothing wrong.
I'm gonna be a little dude in front of this other guy.
For Alicia, who is calling her out, and Kat's response is going terribly. She's getting roasted for this. She's getting roasted for what she did to Dokibird the other day. Like, it's just all crashing down for Kat right now. But really quick, I'll give a extremely rudimentary summary of what led up to this for anyone who may not have seen my prior two videos. Back in November, Kat made a video about VTuber Alicia getting hacked, but also using Alicia's cancer as clickbait. She got immense backlash for that and made a number of excuses, but ultimately did take the video down and give the presumed.
I cited the same thing from a personal experience in the video. There was a video I made about a VTuber with cancer, and then I saw the VTuber express they didn't want people talking about it. I wanted to respect that, but
ad revenue to Alicia. Fast forward to a number of days ago, and Kat made a video on Dokibird. The video being very one-sided, nearly 2 hours long, and basically tries the entire time to make Doki look terrible. Doki responded, and then Kat began to get even more backlash for her terrible video, with many calling her out for the awful coverage. Again, there is a lot more details to all this, so once again, please consider watching the prior videos for the full context. But continuing, one of the many issues with Kat's video about Doki was a section where she references the cancer clickbait situation with Alicia that I mentioned a moment ago. Now, Kat brings this up specifically to try and paint herself out as having handled the situation well, and essentially tries to make the argument that Doki needs to handle things better, like how she herself handled the situation with Alicia. Kat doing this came off extremely weird, tone-deaf, and manipulative to what actually happened. And eventually, Alicia finds out about Kat bringing the situation up again months later,
doing a recap of the last video.
Her look good, and Doki look.
You're the bigger person, you absolute fuckhead. You clickbaited my cancer. The internet called you out, so you changed the title to saying that I'm in remission, which caused people to think I beat it. Then after you got double backlash, you reached out to me blaming your editors. You took zero accountability and gave me the ad rev to the video because you monetized my cancer. You are not a good person. Stop acting like it, even though the entire situation wasn't my fault. Is stupid.
Bad.
You directly say here, I wanted to respect that, but I was being lazy and planned to delete the video since it takes time. You can literally delete a video from your mobile device. Stop lying. It's not like I'm not a YouTuber. It's outrageous. You knew, and I still let it go.
A very weird thing to do, like I said,
and still let it go.
Difficult to even describe because it's so tone deaf and devoid of logic for why Kat actually thought this was a good idea. Nevertheless, Alicia understandably then went off on Kat yesterday, calling her out in a number of statements. And so
I like her model. It looks a little like a Genshin.
But at least that gets you in the loop if you haven't
maybe I'm incorrect.
The videos that I made on all this.
I don't know what I'm talking
about.
Now
Kat has issued this response on her Twitter account. This is again extremely tone deaf by Kat, and I can't even grasp how she thinks this is a good way of handling things.
I already read this.
Clickbait on Twitter without me post perhaps who's
I read this much faster. So fast.
Good to go. Remember, at my stream something happened. You didn't want to talk about this again publicly. You're the one who brought it up again publicly in your Doki video. Alicia wasn't saying anything about this again until you brought it up again in the Doki video from, what was it, 4 days ago now? 5 days ago now? That very recent video. This person's unbelievable. And so
she's unbelievable.
Kat in chat,
shout out to anyone who knows that too.
On that post that we just read, and locks the responses. She then goes on to share the full DM conversation that she had with Alicia. We read part of this yesterday, and Alicia also sharing part, if not all of it, in the video that she covered on her channel. Kat then going on to say, payment proof, I definitely wanted to make sure there wasn't any instance of me unfairly profiting from her cancer, and at that point the video made around 48 bucks. I sent her 3 times the amount to be overly certain. And then there's this. What's this? I didn't want to make this public because I thought the situation was privately resolved and because I didn't want any backlash to fall on my editor for a human error. Again, it's ultimately my responsibility to double check each video that goes live, and I fell short here, for which I'm sorry. I make amends to the VTuber as soon as I realized something was wrong, but I felt I have to address the situation as it's been over 6 months and the VTuber had made a video about the situation. I think she's referring to the video that Alicia made yesterday talking about this again, which again only happened because
I just did a little
brought it up again first in her Doki video. She has every right to be upset about what happened, so please don't harass her, but I felt that since this was circulating again that I needed to address the situation at hand. Why is there no accountability for you being the one to bring it up again, though? Like, you're just trying to like put all the blame on Alicia somehow when she's just responding to what you did. And again, guys, really important thing to remember. Not only did Kat bring this situation with Alicia up again in her Doki video, she tried to use it
everyone
against Doki somehow. The situation had nothing to do with Doki, but Kat was trying to use it as an example of how Kat handles things so well. See how well I handle things, guys? I'm so much better than Dokibird. Dokibird should handle things like I do. And so now Alicia is responding to the statement that Kat made that we just read. Alicia saying, "Hey there, idiot. It's me, the person you exploited. Don't worry, I showed all the screenshots in my video. It doesn't save you. You said in your own words, I was too lazy to take down, and that taking down videos takes time. You're a liar." Yeah, for the record, the time it takes to take down a video is like a handful of seconds.
2 seconds.
Depending on your internet speed, I guess, maybe a little longer if you gotta wait for the page to load. You know, it's a very easy, short process to do. And if you're on your computer, it's basically the same sort of thing. You go to the dashboard, click the video, find the delete option. Like, come on now. Oh, it takes time, guys.
Come on.
You can pretend and act like your editor is the problem, but you are. You are a terrible person who thinks posting about my cancer is fine, who chose to bring me up again to defend yourself when slamming on Dokibird. You posted a video clickbaiting my cancer on your channel. You had it changed titled to me being in remission. You bashed Doki for her quote-unquote blaming others. You're a hypocrite. Trying to call out someone else while you're the problem is just classic you, though. All of the screenshots, honey, I can provide them since they are in my response video. Oh yeah, by the way, the statement that Kat made, it also got this community note that reads, "The statement miss a lot of context. Post of the person who got affected by this. Video statement of the person with all uncensored screenshots." And Alicia continues here too, saying, "My screenshots also include the comment I made that you deleted. So cheers, you posted about my channel being hacked a week after I already got it back. It just gets worse and worse. You made the video after I already called out other channels for clickbaiting my cancer. You even stated you knew before the video uploaded that I don't want people calling me the cancer VTuber, yet you made the video. F off."
Ooh, I'm doing the cringe face
Also,
chat.
you, of course,
This is, oh man, that's so bad. This is so embarrassing.
But then you brought me up to seem like a good person when people got upset about you in relation to Dokibird. This is on you for making me step up. And as mentioned,
feeling secondhand embarrassment for her.
Trent's backlash for all this stuff. Of course, for example, going back to her statement and taking a look at some of the quote responses, because she had also locked the direct responses, but you can't lock the quote tweets. We got like this example. "Just stop making videos. You are a hateful and evil person who seeks to profit by actively lying about people. Not even you being misinformed. You intentionally lie. Not even a woman suffering from cancer is taboo for you. You still lie, even now, to try and save yourself. You can delete the Doki video so easily in under 30 seconds, or better yet, take real accountability and stop covering drama when you're biased and not getting both sides." Closing comments, because you know you will get burned to ashes.
To be fair,
they're not going to put a
no one's going to be ultimately completely unbiased.
Not Alicia, excuse me. Kat had previously said. There's one response that's supporting Kat. Says, "We love and support you, Kat. Keep being based." And it gets 0 likes. How about you first take down your terrible hit piece video on Dokibird, retract your words, and admit you lied about her. Then you can worry about your other terrible actions. Holy smokes, have some shame. And really quick side note, that reminds me, the Niji Sanji Defense Force, the Niji sisters are mad at me for making this video for covering the stuff that happened to Doki. Of course, they still hate Doki. They're petty like that. We can see this tweet with almost 1,000 likes posting an image of my initial coverage of what happened here. My video titled "YouTuber," that being Kat, attacks Dokibird, but Doki destroyed her in response. And posting this image of Akane from Gridman. Akane looking rather upset. And the comments are filled with people both mad at me and like trying to somehow blame Dokibird for all this and like defending Kat. For example, this one that says, "The amount of hate I have seen towards Kat is astounding. The girl did nothing wrong. She just read the Google Doc and gave her opinion based on what was in there. The Google Doc that she made." Frick, dude. She just read the Google Doc. Also, the amount of people saying Doki did nothing wrong. They still didn't handle it well at all. Yeah, Doki's handled it fine. Kat's not handling it fine though, that's for sure. To be fair, this comment was made on May 16th. So like Kat's been handling it even worse since then. But even at that point in time, Kat was already handling this terribly, and it was very clear that Doki was, if anything, the victim. And going to Katliente's channel, Kat in Chat, we can see the terrible Doki video is still up there. And like I initially said to begin with, it came off to me like Kat made this terrible video to try and get as much ad revenue off Doki's name as possible. And now with all this backlash occurring and people still going to this video to check it out for themselves, she's probably just glad that she's still getting ad revenue off this. I think, at least in my opinion, that Kat is a very shameless person. Continuing with the backlash though, let's take a look at her most recent video from 4 hours ago, because we can see that she is getting backlash in her own comment section. For example, this one that says, "I guess she's not going to take any accountability for her recent drama." I believe this is the most liked comment here. And we can see a number of the most liked comments, the top comments, are referring to this whole thing. For example, this one that I apologize for getting cut off there, but it says, "Are you going to make a video apologizing to Doki and Alicia, or are you just going to pretend like that didn't happen? You can't blame your
Didn't
editors.
happen.
You need to learn to take accountability
I
for
was
your
asleep at
actions."
the time. It was my
So
editor.
where's the update video on the Doki PC situation,
Come
or are you too
on.
afraid to admit that you were wrong? And this one referencing the title of the
It
video.
was my
here,
editor.
saying,
Come
"Client
on.
got ghosted."
Please.
Like how Kat
Stop
trying to settle
it.
things right now with
Stop.
Doki and Alicia. Because again, the title here is "Client
Stop being
Ghosted
mad
for 2
already,
years." Anyways,
please.
yeah, that's where we're at with this. Unbelievable stuff. Let me know what you guys think about all this Catliente, cat and chat stuff. And thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed my
Man, let's see what she's doing. I'm Catliente. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, the Dokibird thing is still there. Is she just like ignoring it? She is. We'll see. Yeah, they're just chugging along. Maybe these are all scheduled videos. Whatever. Okay. That's the situation.